Wolfgangsee is one of many lakes in Austria's Salzkammergut region, and dare I say, I enjoyed it even more than Hallstatt. We visited Wolfgangsee on the second day of our 12-day road trip through Austria and Bavaria, and honestly did not know what to expect. Compared to, say, Japan or even neighboring Switzerland, Austria is not nearly as popular a tourist destination, so planning exactly where to go, what to see, and in what order was admittedly a bit difficult. I was pleasantly surprised to discover all the beautiful places we saw throughout Austria, and one of those highlights was Wolfgangsee. Here, we explored quaint towns right on the lake's edge, took an incredible ferry ride through alpine waters, and rode to the top of Schafberg Mountain via Austria's steepest cog railway train that has apparently been running for over 120 years. Overall, I'll make it simple for you. You gotta come here. If you are like me a year ago trying to plan a trip to Austria, or just simply curious about what Austria has to offer, then stick around, because I planned what I think is the perfect one-day itinerary to explore this stunning, underrated destination. My name is Keanu, and this is your travel guide to Wolfgangsee. To give you a brief overview of what the day will look like, you'll start the day in the quaint town of St. Gilgen, take a ferry ride across Wolfgangsee to the town of St. Wolfgang, take a train all the way up to Schafberg Mountain, and then reverse the route all the way back to St. Gilgen. As I mentioned, this is the second day of our Austria and Bavaria road trip, where we spent the first day in Salzburg. If you're going to start from Salzburg like us, then it's about a 30-minute drive to reach the first destination of St. Gilgen. There are a few places to park in St. Gilgen, but I recommend this parking lot here. It was just under €5 for the entire day. As with every location I mentioned in this video, I'll link the exact spot in the description below for your convenience. I'd say take an hour or two to enjoy St. Gilgen. Our first impressions of it was that it was a very sleepy town, kind of felt like a fairy tale village. It was super quiet, granted it was the morning. Natalie and I felt the need to even whisper to not disrupt the peace. I recommend walking along the promenade. There's a great view of Wolfgangsee, and it's a nice place to sit down and chill. Before you board your ferry, you can enjoy breakfast at Liva, a highly rated boutique cafe with great food and service. There's cozy seating inside, but we opted to sit outside to enjoy more of the town. Okay, let's move on to the ferry. I believe we took the first ferry of the day. The ferry ride was amazing. The water was this bright turquoise color that was mesmerizing to look at. The ferry has 2 stories, and I recommend you sit on the top story so you can breathe that fresh alpine air and really take it all in. I couldn't help but notice that Natalie and I were the youngest people on the boat by at least a couple of decades, which is completely fine, but it's like, where's the young people at? You guys are missing out. On your 30-minute ferry ride to St. Wolfgang, you can watch people being outdoorsy, doing stand-up paddleboarding, pedal boating, and kayaking, all of which you can do as well by renting at a nearby town. By the way, I will be breaking down everything you need to know about the ticketing system, not just for the ferry, but also the train ride, so stick around towards the end of the video for that. Eventually, you'll reach St. Wolfgang, and be sure to exit the Wolfgang Schafbergbahn port and not the St. Wolfgang Mark port, as the former drops you directly at the train station. The train is called the Schafbergbahn, Schafberg being the name of the mountain, and Bahn meaning train in German. Again, the Schafbergbahn is the steepest cog railway in Austria, rising 1,190 meters, nearly 4,000 feet in a 35-minute journey. Boarding was very simple, and of course try to snag a window seat if you can. There will be views on both sides of the trip at various points along the journey, so I recommend you just sit on the opposite side on the way down. You could get off halfway at the second stop, called the Schafberg Halt, if you fancy a hike to the top, but I don't see the point of it really because the views are the same, if not better, at the top. At the summit, there is a large area for you to freely explore, with views everywhere you look. Apparently, you can see 11 different lakes on a clear day. After all, the Salzkammergut region is known as Austria's Lake District. One of my favorite views is of Gmunden. The lake has this unique squiggly shape. After a bit of roaming, get some refreshments at Gaststätte Himmelspforte. You already spent a ton to get here, why not spend a bit more with an overpriced beer or ice cream in hand while you enjoy the panoramic views? Then you can take a nice walk to this pointy landmark called the Itinerary. Its shape reminded me of the Sisida ridgeline in the Italian Dolomites. My one regret is that we didn't have enough time to hike there since our boarding time for the train was nearing. We only allocated a little over an hour to the summit, so I recommend you stay a bit longer to avoid feeling rushed. I don't have a video of it, but the queue for the train was quite chaotic, and you may experience the same, so just keep that in mind. After the air-conditioned lacking train ride, set on foot to St Wolfgang, a charming village on Wolfgangsee. The main street is Market Street, but feel free to roam the side streets as well. You can find some great souvenirs and interesting items such as this sausage-shaped vegan soap or this Swiss cheese block soap. I gotta say, while the top of Schafberg Mountain was stunning, my favorite view of the entire day, and one of my favorite views from our entire trip really, was this spot here. Take a moment to enjoy the view and look at these people enjoying this ergonomic two-seater chair. What a life. View was so good, I had to get a picture of me with it. If you want to add another mode of transportation to your day, consider renting a kayak or boat to enjoy the amazing mountainous backdrop. To get back to St Gilgen, I recommend taking the ferry at the St Wolfgang Market docking port, which is on the other side of town once you've finished walking through the town. That way you don't have to backtrack to the St Wolfgang Schafbergbahn docking area. Okay, if you still have energy to explore a bit more, then I have one more bonus town for you. Gmunden is a town not on the Wolfgangsee, but on a different lake called the Traunsee. It's about a 45-minute drive from St Gilgen. The main reason we chose to see it is because our accommodation was nearby on the same lake. Anyhow, while there is not a ton to see in Gmunden, the view from its promenade on the lakeshore is an absolute stunner. I'm a sucker for views, as you may have noticed by now, and I could have easily stayed a couple hours here just staring away until the sun set. After eating dinner here, we headed to our accommodation in nearby Altmünster and called it a day. Now I want to give you some pointers on how the tickets work for the ferry and train. This is stuff I would have wanted to know before coming here, so hopefully it's helpful for you. You can buy your ferry and train tickets online or in person, but I recommend booking it in person because it just allows for more flexibility. If you're doing the exact same itinerary like us, then you'll purchase your tickets at St Gilgen. There's an option to do a combo ticket including the ferry and train, which is what we did. It saves you a couple of euros, which is not terribly significant, but at least you don't have to wait in line to purchase your tickets once you've arrived at the train station. Now, the annoying thing with all of this is that you have to specify the exact times you want to board the train for the ride up and the ride down. Unlike the ferry, you can't just ride the train when you want to. I recommend arranging your tickets in such a way that allows at least 2 hours to explore the top of Schafberg Mountain to avoid feeling rushed. Also keep in mind that it takes about 30 minutes to reach the top. Lastly, realize you don't have to do this exact itinerary I laid out. For example, you can take a ferry to St Wolfgang from Straubel if coming from the south side, or you can bypass the ferry altogether and just take the train at St Wolfgang. Whatever the case may be, you can reference the schedule for the ferry and trains at this website, which change with the season. If you made it this far in the video, I'm assuming you found this video helpful, so please like and subscribe to help my growing channel. It takes a lot of time for me to create these videos, so I really do appreciate you watching them. My overall concluding thought is this: Wolfgangsee is a must-see destination. The views are truly one of a kind, and I can't see how someone would not enjoy a day trip here. Broadly speaking, the Salzkammergut region should not be missed on any Austrian trip. Next, on the third day of our 12-day road trip, we explore the more well-known town of Hallstatt. We enjoy a picturesque breakfast on the lake, witness panoramic views from above, and attend a rather wacky tour where we learn about salt mines and go down slides inside a cave. When that video is out, you can check it out here. As always, happy travel planning and see you in the next adventure.